God. He's all powerful, right?
Yeah.
He's all knowing.
Yep.
He can do anything.
Yep.
He doesn't have a God to him. He is God.
Yeah.
So Jesus, you're saying, came on earth and he became human.
Yes.
Okay. Was Jesus sent by God?
He's not left us with
Of course. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
God sent
Yeah.
Jesus, right? I mean, that's in the Bible, right?
Yeah. I'm the one who was sent. Yes, and I'm sending you.
All right. As a servant of God.
Yes.
Okay. So Jesus is a servant of God.
What?
So you would agree that he's a servant of the God above.
Sure, but he was also equal with God.
But that's not what it says. This is, but Jesus says that he was made lower than angels, or at least the Bible says that, right? So we see Jesus who was made a little lower than angels.
Yes, was made a little lower than angels.
How could God be fully God and be lower than angels?
So we have in Hebrews,
All
right, in chapter 2, where he was for a time made a little lower than angels.
What does it say for a time?
For a little while was made lower.
That's interesting.
Because that's the questions can go either way, which is a quotation of Psalm 8. He's pulling right out of Psalm 8 right there.
In Hebrews.
This is the book of Hebrews,
Okay.
which is a reference to Psalm 8.
With additional wording from KJV.
So it says little lower. They're going to translate for a little while.
Oh, that's a pretty big jump.
Well, yeah. And it's,
Okay, so for a little while he was made lower than angels, you're saying.
yes.
So can God ever be lower than angels?
But then you also look at Hebrews 1.
That's a question,
Yeah.
Dan. Can God ever be lower than angels?
No, not God.
Okay, but Jesus was. When he was made lower than angels, he could not be God. So by what you have said, Jesus could not be God at that time because he was made lower than angels. Can God be a liar?
No.
Why not? You're saying God cannot lie. Because that's against the greatness of God.
Yeah,
He's always. I mean, the Bible says, right? God's not a man, so he should lie, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he cannot, because it says he cannot lie. I think.
All right, there you go. But he has put that restriction on himself, right?
No,
So-
I think that's who he is.
I agree with you.
There's no law outside of God that he's restricted.
100.
It's his very
It's
nature.
who he is.
Yeah.
And as God, who he is, he's all knowing.
Yeah.
So he cannot not know.
By the way, look at Matthew, Christ one.
That's exactly right. So God, from who he is, he's never a man. He's never not knowing. He's never in need of food or drink because that's not who he is. God is all capable, all powerful, all knowing.
Do not have a question.
Let me give you one as a gift.
Sure. Yeah.
All right, cool.